Hello boys and girls. Today we are going to take a look at what we call color theory. Now you might remember we started doing some of this before we went to break. So we're going to actually just take a closer look at it just kind of to refresh our memory. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we fill in our color wheel. Now usually when Miss Sika does it, she kind of goes clockwise just because it's easier to remember. But in this color wheel, it goes counterclockwise. And what I'm gonna need is I'm gonna need each one of these colors that's in here. So I'm gonna need a red, I'm gonna need orange, I'm going to need yellow, green, blue, and purple. Now the blue and the purple are actually going to look very close because they're both very dark colors. So these are all the colors that Miss Sika needs. And I'm going to color each one of these in one at a time. So I'm going to start with red, I'm going to then color orange, yellow, green, blue, then purple. Now once I've colored my color wheel, I'm actually going to go down below to where it says primary and secondary. And Miss Sika always likes to refer to these as our superhero and our sidekick colors. You might have heard Miss Sika say that before. So our primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. And Miss Sika says that these are the superhero colors because maybe you know a bunch of superheroes that have one or two or even all three of these colors. They're also the colors that make up every other color. So without these three colors, you can't make any other color. So Miss Sika's gonna color in her primary colors right in here. So if these are our primary colors, that means orange, green, and purple are our secondary colors, our sidekick colors. Now what happens is that this is what we're going to talk about this in just a minute, but these three colors come from mixing these three colors in certain ways. So Miss Sika is going to put in her secondary or sidekick colors. So now boys and girls, now that I've finished my primary and secondary, I want to go over to what happens when I mix. And hopefully we remember this from what we did before a couple months ago. So we still have all our colors, all our colored pencils. So let's take a look here. What happens when I mix red and yellow? So let's start with taking our red colored pencil and filling in, and then taking our yellow colored pencil and filling that in. And it looks like we get orange. And you would write orange right there. Now let's see what happens when I take red and then add blue. I get close to purple and I would write that there. Now I'm going to take my yellow and then my blue, and I get pretty close to green, and I would write that there. Next, boys and girls, we're going to look at warm and cool colors. Warm colors, Miss Sika also likes to call our fire colors because they are red, yellow, and orange. So I'm going to color these triangles red, yellow, and orange. And now that leaves green, blue, and purple for my cool colors. Next, I'm going to look at complementary colors. Complementary colors are colors that are across from each other on the color wheel. One of the easiest complementary colors we think about is red and green, the Christmas colors. They are across from each other on the color wheel. So if I do red, and then I do green. So looking at your color wheel, you should be able to find the other complementary colors. For example, orange and blue. And last but not least, yellow and purple. The last part we're going to talk about here, I actually want you to take a regular pencil. Now this talks about something called monochromatic, which means tints and shades, dark and light. And actually what we're going to do is we're just going to do that with a regular pencil rather than colors. Now normally if you wanted to make something monochromatic, you would do a color and then you would add either black or white to it. Tint means to lighten it. Shade means to darken it. But we're just going to stick with regular dark to light. So I'm going to start with my pencil and I'm going to really press down in this last square right here. I'm going to try and make it as dark as possible. Shade, remember, means adding black to it. The more black you add, the darker it is. Now I'm going to move to this one, and I'm going to not press down so hard. And you notice how that's a little bit lighter. Now I'm going to go to this one, and I'm going to barely press my pencil down at all. And once again, you notice how that's even lighter. And I'm actually going to leave this white because tint is when we add white to a color until it's almost completely white. And there we have our color theory worksheet, boys and girls. Our worksheet on the color theory. Don't forget to add your name to the very top, and you can color in where it says color theory if you want to.